Welcome back, everybody. Tom here from Thicket Farmstead. So I've been thinking, what is the number one problem on any homestead? Is it finding the land? Is it figuring out what you want to do? There's lots of setbacks that can happen to homesteaders or people that want to homestead. So I started thinking, what is my number one problem as a homesteader? What's something I can do better? And then I thought about it. I need to be more organized. There's so many times when I plant something and it says on the seed package, harvest in 60 days and 93 days and 184 days. I admit I do not keep track of that. I say I'm going to, and I don't. There's just so many things I need to keep track of. So I need to stay organized. So what did I do? I wrote a book. That's right, I wrote a book. Not just for me, but for everybody. I'm not really going to call it a book. It's a journal, a planner, and a homestead organizer. I put it on Amazon very recently, and it's to help people. I'm not trying to make a whole bunch of money. Trust me, I'm not. But it's something to help people. So this is what is in the homestead organizer that I wrote. First, there's areas to make maps. You need to make a map of your homestead. So maps are really important. There's sections to make goals. There's sections to keep track of your garden, your orchard. Basically, what you plant, when you plant it, the time to harvest, how much you harvest. There's a section on nature events. So if something really cool on your homestead happens and you want to not forget it, write it down. Like we had foxes show up. We had a small little screech owl show up last week. I'm going to write that down in my journal because at the end of the year, I'm going to look at it and I'll be able to look back and be like, wow, that's really cool. We have spring peepers that show up every year, and it seems like they're showing up earlier and earlier. So I want to keep track of that. When do the spring peepers show up on my homestead? You may have a bird feeder. There's a section for wildlife and nature events. What else is there? There's a section for weather. If you have a crazy snowstorm happen, a crazy storm hits your homestead, write it down. At the end of the year, you can keep track of that. You can figure out how much rain, how much snow fell on your homestead. Really easy to do that if you're organized, if you keep track of everything. There's sections to keep track of your construction projects, of food you can, food you dehydrate. There is just tons of sections to keep you motivated and to keep you organized. Of course, there's a section for Homestead Animals to keep track of eggs you harvest, of milk you harvest, of meat you harvest, of honey you harvest. And we don't necessarily do all of these things ourselves. I'm making this a homestead journal and planner for everybody. We have on our homestead, we have horses, which is a major thing for my wife. We have chickens, we have a pet pig, we have fainting goats. We have a nice sized garden, we have an orchard going. So that's what we do as homesteaders. But every year we're growing, we're learning, we're doing more and more. But I know as a homesteader, I want to stay organized, and there's so many times where I feel like I'm not making progress. It really isn't true. Homesteading is not a simple life. It's a different life, and if you're not organized, it can sometimes seem overwhelming. So I made this journal for me originally, and then I'm expanding it. I'm making it available to everybody. If you want to start homesteading, if you feel like, hey, I need to stay organized, my homestead journal, I think, is going to help you. It's organized month by month. So if you're seeing this video in June, you don't have to start in January. You can start in January as a New Year's resolution to stay more organized, but you can start any month. Each month you only have to fill out 2 pages, a front and back page basically. And then at the end of the month, you have a chance to reflect on your homestead goals, see if you did what you said you were going to do. If you didn't, that's okay, you got next month. So if you're a homesteader, check this out. The link is going to be below It's going to link you to Amazon. It's called A Year on the Homestead, and it's a month-by-month planner and journal to help people out. I think it's going to really help people out. I'm excited to use it. I'm going to be using it hopefully forever, and by staying organized, I can get more done, and I can recognize my accomplishments. I think a lot of times in life, people do not stop to recognize, hey, I'm pretty awesome. I am doing stuff, right? So if you just take a minute to recognize, hey, I am doing what I want to do with my life. I'm organized. I'm meeting my goals. Setting goals and meeting them are super important. So again, check out the link below. It's on Amazon. I think it's for a reasonable price. It's not super expensive. And thanks again to all of our subscribers out there. We've been doing this for, I guess, 7 or 8 months, and we're having fun. And that's an important part of homesteading, is having fun. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.